Hi guys, today I'm making a Cayenne Salve. It's a healing salve. I'm making it for a friend of mine who fell 20 feet from a tree, jumping from one tree to another. It's a long story, but anyway, I figured I would shoot the video to show you guys how I make it. Plus I wanted to do it a little differently. I wanted to use stuff that I would have with me out in the woods on a camping trip. The olive oil, my friend Derek Ferrier came up with a great idea of using a flask to store your olive oil in, and I'm kicking myself in the butt for not thinking of that. Cayenne pepper, I carry that with me in the woods, part of my first aid kit. And I'm going to use old containers for the finished product. Beeswax, well, I don't really carry beeswax in the wild with me, but I suppose you could use pine resin, maybe, I don't know. But anyway, I have these on me. I have my regular cup and my, what I call coffee cup. And I have my seagull container here. And to simulate a campfire, I'm going to use a stove. Now, the recipe. For the recipe, you need a double boiler. So, to make a double boiler, I'll just use this. I'll fill this up with water, and I'll use the coffee cup to put the olive oil and pepper in here to let it infuse. So I'll fill this up with water, put it in there like that, and cook it. So let's get back to the recipe. So the recipe, let me see my notes here. Cayenne Salve. The recipe is half a cup of olive oil, half an ounce of beeswax shredded, 2 teaspoons of cayenne pepper, a double boiler, and a cheesecloth. Now for the cheesecloth, you can use your bandana. So let me get it set up here, and I'll start making it. Okay, so I got the water heating up here. That will heat up the oil. Now the recipe calls for a half a cup. I just eyeball it. Okay, that's about half a cup. And 2 tablespoons of cayenne pepper. Let me just say one thing about cayenne pepper is you want to get non-irradiated pepper. So for medicinal uses, you want to spend the money and get the good stuff, the non-irradiated good stuff. One, 2. Stir that in there. Another thing is you want to be careful with touching your eyes. You know, I know I touch my nose and eyes a lot, so I might even want to wear gloves. Alright, so I got the pepper. I just touched my nose again. Alright, so I got the pepper and the olive oil in here. When the water gets nice and hot, well, it's getting hot now. Oh yeah. I'll put that in there to get it going. So as that is heating up to just above lukewarm, I'm going to cut 2 ounces of beeswax, get that ready. Um, like I said, you don't want to get your mixture here too hot. You don't want to get it hot, but you want to get it, you know, between medium and hot. So you want to keep an eye on it. Okay. So what this is doing is infusing the olive oil with all the good pain relieving qualities of the pepper. I believe it's called capsaicin. I don't know how many units of capsaicin this has, but it's a lot. Okay. And how it works is that the capsaicin, if I'm remembering right, capsaicin affects your nervous system when used for pain. There's a substance in your body called substance P, which is a neurotransmitter that relays pain. It relays the information of pain. And so the capsaicin blocks this substance P, and so your brain doesn't receive pain messages anymore. I think that's how it goes. Don't quote me, but basically it blocks pain. Okay. Turn this down a little bit. So like I said, you want to keep an eye on this for at least an hour. You can heat it up to over warm, hot warm, and then take it off. Take it off the fire, let it cool down, then put it back on, heat it up to hot warm, take it off. So you want to keep it, you can keep doing that for an hour, as long as 24 hours, but at least an hour. And that will give you a good infusion of the pepper. So I'm going to take this off, let it cool down again. When it cools down too much, I'll put it back on the heat source. So, I'll get back to you in an hour. Thanks. Alright, so the stove got freed up. I'm using the stove here so I can control the temperature on simmer. And I got the timer set up for an hour and 10 minutes. So I'll just make myself some coffee and relax and maybe watch some YouTube videos. Alright guys, I came up with my own monster Java ingredients drink for there. I got instant coffee, cocoa, honey, vanilla extract, liquid vitamin B complex, St. John's wort, American ginseng, and ether oil. And I combine all those into there, and that is my healthier alternative to Monster Java. Try it, see if you like it. I like it. Alright guys, so it's been simmering for 2 hours. I decided to do 2 hours, so this is what it looks like here. So it's nice and infused. So now I gotta strain it. I gotta strain the mark out. So I'm gonna use my bandana And I'm going to strain it into this container here. Actually, yeah. Strain it into this one. So I'll let that strain all the way. Should take a couple minutes. Alright, so the mark is strained out, and this is what it looks like there. Nice and infused. So while this is draining, it cooled down a little bit. So I'm going to put it back into the double boiler to get it warm hot, and then I'll add the beeswax here. Alright, so I heated up the water. Get the oil hot, back and hot. And I'm just going to start adding beeswax to it so it starts melting. Now, let's talk about beeswax. How much beeswax? If you add more beeswax, then it will be your final product will be more solid, which is good for summertime for the heat. So your salve won't be as runny in the summertime. So you might want to add more beeswax in the summertime. In the wintertime, which it is right now for this video, you don't have to add as much beeswax. Let me check the camera here. Moving this around to get the wax melting. I think that's about enough beeswax that I'm going to use. Actually, no, I'm going to use all the beeswax because winter's almost over. So I'm going to have this in the summer for sure. So I'm going to make it a little bit more of a solid by adding more beeswax. So I'm going to stir this around and I'm going to stir this around until all the beeswax is melted. Okay, I got the beeswax all melted here. And one way to check for the final consistency is to do the spoon test. You take a little bit on your spoon here, right there, and then you let it cool. And like I said, it's still winter time, so I just went outside and got some snow. And then I'll place this on the snow and let it cool down. And that'll solidify the oil and the wax mixture. And then you can test it, see if it's what you want. If it's too oily and you want it more solid, just add more beeswax. So it's already cooling down there. So that's exactly what I want right there. It's nice and solid. You know, that's a good mix for summertime. So now that I have the right mixture here, I'm going to pour it into the container. I'm right-handed, so I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to get both containers ready. Of course, you got to let the oil cool down a little bit. So I still got residue in the container here. I can heat that up and get it back to liquid form and drain it some more. So there you go. I got two containers. One for me and one for Mike. I'll use my snow. I'll put these in the snow to make them cool even more faster. Now after these are cooled down, you want to, let me work the snow here. As soon as these are cool, you want to mark them. You want to label that lid of what it is in there. Because sometimes you spend all day making all these different salves and tinctures, and sometimes you lose track of what's what. Alright. So that's pretty much it, guys, about how to make a cayenne pepper salve. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope this motivates you to get out there and try it. Again, it's pretty easy. You can do it at your house. And so get out there and try it. Thanks, guys.